All right, so I've cut out all other lines so that way we can kind of go over this for everybody. So what we have is our green, red, and our orange line. So this setup right here where we have the green above our red and our red above orange, that is a setup for bullish momentum. You're going to see price riding at the top of the green line. At a certain point, it pulls back to the green line. You'll touch, sometimes come under it, close a candle and open a new one, and you enter in when it touches back to the green. You ride it back up until it comes back and touches your green line again. So that's one way of entries. Same thing as if we have green down below the red, red down below the orange, it's bearish. Price is going to ride on the outside of that green line, and every so often you'll see it'll just come back and touch the green, push on down, come back and touch the green, push on down, come up across the green, open a new candle, and then pushes on down. And at a certain point, it'll push on back up, trying to touch the red, pull on down, come back, and it'll start crossing the red up to the orange, and then push back down. And then if they start getting tight enough, they will do a flip. Now, something to look into is how do you know when it's going to the red line or the orange line? Well, like for instance, right now we're up. So the green line's at 285. Red line is 285.61. And of course, the orange line is at 285.10. Well, why could we need to come back to that? Well, as we're pushing down below the green, why is that? Well, if you look at the higher time frame, that's going to give you the results. Green line on the 5-minute is at 285.32. So what could we be going to over here? 285.32. You're going to be seeing us drop down below that red. So we would look at this coming below the red. Why is it doing it? Well, we also have an order block right in here. So we're going to wind up coming down, possibly going ahead and touching that orange line because our 5-minute is saying that we need to come back and touch the green, just like we was doing on the 1-minute, riding that green line, coming back and touching. When you come back and you touch the green line here on the 5-minute, you're actually coming back, touching here on the red line. So that's what that's what you're looking at. When you look at that higher time frame and it's coming back and it touches something, that's because the lower time frame is coming back and touching a different line. So as we see right here, we're pushing down below our red for the 5-minute green line touch here, possibly breaking through it, closing a candle under it, possibly push up some more, or we may see it push on down because we do have a liquidity candle all the way down here on that 5-minute that still needs to be cleared. And of course, if you go on up on the higher time frame, you see that we're working our way back around to the green line on the 15-minute as well. And as you can see, as we came up, we came down, touched the green, we came up, come down, touched the green, and crossed over. And we actually crossed all the way down, closed a candle below the orange. That is one of the greatest ones to get, is when it closes down like that. Keep in mind, let's also take a look at here. This is real quick too. You see a candle drop down, new one open, and then it comes down a little ways, creates a little bit of a wick. You can have a wick above too, but it winds up just closing right here in that same area as the previous candle. 9 times out of 10, the next candle is going to open, and you're going to see it push up. That's just a general rule. Just like right here, had a candle. This one over here creates that big wick, comes back, price pushing down, comes back, and it winds up closing in the same area as the other one. Next one's gonna open short. Boom. So you could have got that short to the green, easy money. There's multiple ways of seeing trades on here, but when you start looking at, I may have to do it on the higher time frame to be able to actually see it, but you can see right here we're bearish down through here, but as it's coming down, it comes back and touches the green. Every time frame has to do that, but when it does it, it's because it's doing it for another time frame. So what did we do? Somebody asked earlier, the 4 hour. It just touched the 4 hour orange line. What does that mean? It means a pullback. We came up here, we closed the candle, next candle, boom, we pulled back. We had that green, red, and the orange, and it's pulled all the way up. Now we're expecting to see this come all the way down again. Hopefully we're here within the next hour and 26 minutes and create another candle coming down, pushing it back down here, down to the lower side, and then more likely we're going to see it push on up. Why? Is because if we look at the daily, we have our orange and red line is up here above. So daily, we need to come up. Why do we need to do that? A, those lines, it's just how they work. And on B, we have a liquidity gap. This big old beautiful candle dropped down. The wicks never met. So we have a gap that needs to be filled, which means there's a lot of liquidity there, a lot of people that can be liquidated that's put in shorts. So they push up through here, more likely in this area, you're going to have a ton of people with 100x leverage right there on shorts. Okay, so when that pushes up, liquidates every single one of them. That's where you're going to see us enter in, come back down again, and go from there. Hopefully, this helps you understand the green, the red, and the orange. Now, when to choose to look at the other time frames? Well, when you see this right here and you're like, what's going on? Look at the higher time frame. Because I mean, as you keep going up, at a certain point, you got to pull back down to your green line. So when you're pulling down to the green line, you want to look and see, have we came back yet and done it on the 5 minute? No? Okay, well, that's probably where we're headed to, especially if there's a big pump. We got to come back eventually and touch that green line. So if you come to the green line on there, 285.26, green line over here, actually, not really the green line, but still, 26 would have been about right there. So when it was coming back, I knew we was coming below the red based off of upper time frame. And then just like on the dashboard that typically is over here, it tells you, okay, if you're on the 5 minute, you want to know, is this our bottom? Are we going back up? What are we doing? Look at our 15-minute time frame. That's the next one. Look at here. We still have a green line we've not touched yet. So we can see that within the next 8 minutes and possibly push on up some more. But again, look at the higher time frame. So see right here on the 30-minute, we came up, came back down through it, then we come up, touch, up, down through the red, create a new one up. So now it's pulling back as well. 1 hour. On the 1 hour time frame, we came down and we touched and we came back up. But now it needs to come all the way back down to our orange line, which is a 280 area. Okay. 2 hour, when we look at it, we notice green's up here, red's down here. We've got to pull back down to that red area as well. It's 281. And of course, the 4 hour already says that we already came up and we've set up a entry because we come all the way up to that orange line that we got to come back down. So that is at play. So we had to come back down some, but then we're going to take and turn and pull back up again to finish setting up the daily. So everything that's going on, it's you can see it from the 1 minute all the way up to the daily on what's going to happen. Now, how to help know a little bit more of what we're going to do, that is where our yellow, blue, our pink lines come into play. Okay, so now we add those. Now you can understand too that the yellow, when it's in this pattern, yellow, blue, pink, that is bullish. Now, when that's flipped and you have pink, blue, yellow, that is a bearish. Typically, rule of thumb, if it's below, if it's flipped over like that and you're below that yellow line, you're wanting to take and pick up all the shorts. They're going to be better. If you're, flip to the opposite where it's the bullish side, that's where you want to take long entries. So this right here, these are going to be your typically your 5 minute, buys, 1 minute shorts. So it was down below, we came up, get you 1 minute from right there to your 5 minute orange. Then you 5 minute up, and it comes back on the 1 minute, touches the green on the 1 minute. You short it to the minute, red, orange area, typically around the red line, take your profit, wait for it to switch and come back. Take your 5 minute ride all the way until it starts to come back to the green and sell. Ride it down to the red. The green crosses over. You're going to see it pull down towards that orange, goes around the orange line. Wait for it to come back up to the orange crossing. Buy in and ride you another 5 minute up. Sell at the green. You can ride on back and forwards, but the lines, they help you understand where we're going. And so when I say that, and now if you look here on the 5 minute, we was talking about we need to go down to that 281 and stuff like that. Well, we have a pink line on the 5 minute at $2.78. So means we got to go there, right? Now when we add our visual in here, it adds in a whole lot of other little things here that are very helpful. Another thing that makes it very helpful is we got our shapes. And also, I do turn off the line W and line F. I do not use those. We also have boxes and our panels there. Just lines and tables. Now we add all the stuff together here. So on the 1 minute, for instance. So we've came all the way up here. Well, according to the panel down here, we have 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30, and a 1 hour. I'll say they're red. Okay. Well, if they're red, typically that was green, turns red. What are we looking for? So we're looking forward to, maybe a ride to the pink line. Well, for instance, we had a higher high and then a red dot. You're going to see that red dot first. Once that dropped right there, that right there confirmed that higher high. So you would have wound up on a entry or a short. You would have entered in right here. Okay, I'm going to show you. So you would have gotten confirmation and everything. You already had the red dot. You put in your short right there when it confirmed that one, and your stop loss just above that higher high box. And then on those, it's a pink line touch is what we're looking for. So you're looking for right here.